coming up from the Northeast Live studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. As the ruling BJP in Assam is all set to hold its two-day state executive meeting in Karimganj from tomorrow, the question that many are asking today is this: where is the opposition in Assam and which is the main opposition in the state for the 2021 assembly elections? The Congress that had won 26 seats in 2016 would say it is the main opposition in Assam and that there should not be any debate on that. But with internal dissensions within the Congress, with party leaders openly criticizing the leadership, and with talks of Congress MLAs getting ready to switch sides, its claim to be the key opposition has come under a cloud. Moreover, many within the Congress are livid with the recent joint campaign by State Congress President Ripun Bora and AIUDF Chief Badruddin Ajmal during the Bodo Council elections. This bonhomie is seen as a trial run before an alliance between the two in 2021. Now, many feel the Congress has committed a political harakiri by aligning with the AIUDF, as Ajmal's party do not have any hold whatsoever in the eastern Assamese heartland or Upper Assam. Similarly, many within the AIUDF are also unhappy because they do not want to concede ground or leave seats for Congress candidates. With the Congress and the AIUDF in a spot over the alliance issue, can one say that a key opposition force is going to be the ASU AJYCP-backed regional party, the Ahom Jatiyo Porikhad? After all, the AJP is the only prominent regional force that will be in the fray, as the Ahom Gana Parishad is already a part of the BJP-led alliance. Well, until it becomes clear as to which party or combine is going to be the key opposition in Assam for 2021, it is clear the BJP will be pitted against several forces known and still unknown or untested. To discuss the subject, I have with me in the studios former Congress MP Kirip Chaliha. Also in the studios with me is Ahom Jatiyo Porikhad spokesman Mr. Amrit Khatoniar, senior advocate and former AIUDF working president Hafiz Rashid Ahmed Choudhury is also joining me live from Guwahati. And from Shillong, I am joined by Professor Prasenjit Biswas, professor at NEHU and a well-known political analyst. And soon, I will be joined in the studios by BJP State Vice President, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. First, let me go to you, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Ahmed Choudhury, a senior advocate, well-known political observer, and of course, the founder president of the AIUDF. He is no longer with the AIUDF, of course. Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, suppose I ask you a plain and simple question. Which is the main opposition party going to be in Assam as far as the 2021 elections is concerned? Can you straight away say that it is going to be the Congress or it is going to be the AIUDF? Or is it going to be the new political party, new regional party, the Ahom Jatiyo Porikhad? How do you view it? What will be your answer?
You see, my answer would be straight away, as you have said, that it would be with the Congress-led political parties. Whatever, I don't know whether it will happen or not, but as on today, if you find that voting percentage or the way how things are going on, certainly it would be Congress. Because the other parties, you see the AUDF or you see the new political parties or other parties, which I see, because till today I don't think that they will be in a position to fight BJP straight away without having any sort of understanding with the non-BJP political parties. This is my straight answer at the beginning.
Very clear-cut answer there. He said that if you ask which is going to be the main opposition in Assam that the BJP is going to face in 2021, a veteran political leader, HRA Choudhury, Hafiz Rashid Ahmed Choudhury, is saying that it has to be a Congress-led alliance, whichever it may be, but Congress has to be the lead party. That will be only considered as the main opposition, and the Assam Jatiya Parishad being a new party without an alliance cannot be regarded as a serious contender or a serious challenger to the ruling BJP. Let me come to you, Mr. Kirip Chaliha. The same question goes to you. You know, the Congress with 26 seats is the largest party next to the BJP as far as the Assam Assembly is concerned. It contested 122 seats and managed to win only 26 in 2016, conceding most of the seats to the BJP. My question to you, Mr. Kirip Chaliha, can Congress really emerge as a challenger? Suppose today a senior Congress leader, Susmita Dev, said that, you know, the Congress party, that is the AICC, is engaged in conducting a ground survey to ascertain, to gauge the people's mood as to whether there should be an alliance with the AIUDF. That means, clearly means, that the Congress now is chickening out. Congress now is having second thoughts because it might boomerang. Now, assuming that the alliance does not take place, do you think the Congress is in a solid position to give that, you know, single-handedly fight the BJP in Assam?
Well, I have come here not to do any propaganda or any criticism against anyone today. I thought I'll just, since the topic was interesting and everybody in Assam is asking these questions, which is very pertinent to today's situation, I thought I'll try to give an impartial analysis of the prevailing situation and give certain opinions which may be liked by somebody, which may not be liked by somebody, but that is my own assessment.
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
I just want to do that. I hope no propagandist tilt is expected from that. Now, what Rashid ji has said is very true. Obviously, without Congress, after BJP, there cannot be any other opposition than Congress. Then, why is this question coming up that Congress and other political parties combine, or Congress plus AIUDF, or whether Congress will gain or lose if a new political formation comes up?
Yeah.
This is because, during the last 4.5 years, Congress was expected to emerge as a very strong alternative to the BJP. We are not. I'm sure even you are not talking about Congress emerging as an alternative in the next 4 months to BJP. You are saying who will take the space of the opposition.
Yes.
So this makes a lot of difference. That is, in fact, unfortunately, that is also the common perception. Somewhere or other, Congress has not been able to put up a point-to-point fight for the last 4 years. There are so many issues, so many opportunities for the Congress to come up on the top and put BJP on the at least in the defensive. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Then, in that case, the idea of a grand alliance kind of thing, which was a vague idea, but some kind of new permutation and combination was thought of by some senior leaders, including Mr. Tarun Gogoi. And he had a long discussion with me also on this. And I think, what Hafiz Rashid Choudhury is precisely saying is, he is pointing out that even now, at this stage, so far as the opposition space is concerned, the new political party, for which there is a lot of goodwill among the Assamese majority mass. But, as I said, they have their limitations, number one. They have number of limitations. I'm not... I'll just point out two things. I think they are starting a little late. I think they still suffer from the basic limitation of not expanding to certain areas and communities, getting a lot of limitations which are created by them. They have to overcome those obstacles and maybe need time to come up as a
credible alternative. Okay. Now, let me take this question before coming to you, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, for an independent analysis. Let me go to Mr. Amrit Khatoniar. Mr. Amrit Khatoniar, let's forget for a moment that you are representing the Assam Jatiya Parishad. You are the newest kid on the block. You are the new regional party, nascent political party. My question is, who would you consider as the main opposition in Assam for 2021. Everybody thought it will be a Congress AIUDF alliance, but nobody perhaps thought that there will be almost a rebellion within both the Congress as well as the AIUDF over this whole thing. Now forcing the Congress to now say that, you know, okay, we'll go for a gauge the public mood, we are conducting a survey report will come out in the first week of January and then we'll decide. That is clear now that the Congress is having second thoughts. Now if Congress has it, and besides the Congress also has internal dissensions, because lot of Congress MLAs are waiting in the wings. That is what reports say, that they are willing to shift to the BJP and so on. Now, in view of in this scenario, which political formation you think is going to be emerge as the main opposition in Assam in 2021?
Now, my question is, my answer is very clear. This our party AJP is going to take the lead as the main opposition. AJP plus combined, the other political parties, the regional political parties will combine together and will be the main opposition to 2021 election, and it will be a threat to BJP. Not only to BJP, but also to Congress.
Yeah, but the problem is, when you say that, you know, AJP and combine, which are the parties left for you to align? No. Are you talking about the equally new parties which have also no base like your own?
No, it is not like that. It is the, you are talking about, the people are talking about the Raijor Dal, then other small...
Even Raijor Dal is a nascent political party with no organization whatsoever.
But, as of today, if you see, they have a better ground of network as of today with their background at KMSS, and also AJP has the better network as of today, because prima facie what the people of Assam wants today, that is the objective we are just keeping and avoiding that question. So how 2016 came into the picture, what are the commitments, why we voted for BJP and why AJP joined the BJP, what are the ethics that they follow, what commitments the government has given the BJP-led government, and that is why, for example, I'll just touch one. The Honorable Prime Minister in his speech in the election campaign has categorically said 16th May is the deadline when the Bangladeshis will have to go. That was the main issue at that point of time the Assam was hovering around. Congress misruled for 15 years. We thought the Assam is getting backwards. So this is a party, this is an honest party, is making a statement, none other than by the Prime Minister, is we are hopeful and we have taken it for granted that this gentleman will take the Assam to a new horizon. But at the same time, they have projected Sarbananda Sonowal as the Chief Minister. Sarbananda Sonowal obviously had a clean image at that point of time.
But that is their prerogative, isn't it? They are free to choose anybody as their Chief Minister or whatever.
That is their prerogative. But the image, the message that has gone across the state is that, yes, we are going to have a government, clean government, where there will be no corruption, the things will be, the Assam Accord will be implemented, all foreigners will go. These are the hopes and aspirations.
Okay, you are now saying that hopes and aspirations have not been fulfilled. That is your simple argument. Now, my point is, Prasenjit Biswas, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, I am coming back to you, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Ahmed Choudhury. Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, you know, from what the AJP, Assam Jatiya Parishad spokesperson, Mr. Amrit Khatoniar is saying, that KMSS-backed Raijor Dal has a good support base. The Assam Jatiya Parishad itself is, you know, today being formed with the backing of the ASU and AJYCP. Now, do you think, and in 2021, these new regional parties are going to, you know, hoping for a proxy election where they are backed by the KMSS, ASU, AJYCP, you know, because none of these organizations have any base of their own. So are they depending solely on the support of KMSS, ASU, AJYCP? Because if we look at the other way, ASU and KMSS are not real allies. You know, they have their own internal turf war. So how do you look, let's come back to the question, where is the opposition in Assam, which is going to be the main opposition in your view?
Of course, Congress, AIUDF combination, if they combine, then that will be the main opposition. Now, AJP and Raijor Dal together can shift a large number of swing votes towards them. Now, if there is a grand alliance in the Bihar model, let's hypothetically imagine between Congress, AIUDF, AJP and Raijor Dal and other smaller entities who are all burgeoning in the form of a political opposition. if there is a larger alliance possible, then only that kind of an opposition can fill up the void of the opposition. But if opposition remains divided into 2 or 3 blocks, then that kind of opposition will be a fragmented opposition. So Assam is staring at both possibilities, possibility of a fragmented opposition and possibility of a united opposition.
I would say
one single opposition against the BJP.
Prasenjit Biswas,
materialize,
Biswas, we have the AJP spokesman sitting here. We have Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, who is not a political activist but not associated with any political party today. Now, I want comments from both of you. Now, to me, I think the chances of a fragmented opposition looks bright, because the Congress is already in 2 minds. They're saying that they are conducting a survey. Then they will decide whether to go with the AIUDF or not. This is not what the late Congress veteran Tarun Gogoi had said. This is not what Ripun Bora had demonstrated in the just concluded Bodo elections, Bodo Council elections. And now, Okhom Jatiyo Parikhad, can it really align with the Congress? Let's have a clear statement before coming to Mr. Khatoniar. Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, you do not belong to any political party, but you are a keen observer. So, do you think that the Okhom Jatiyo Parikhad can have an alliance with the Congress, or for that matter, the AIUDF?
One thing is very clear. So far, AJP and Raijardar is concerned, actually, in fact, we do not have any doubt about their intention, good intention to serve the people of Assam. And they also, but question is, within this limited period of time, whether they would be in a position to fight BJP in the straight way. Because you see in Assam, what we find, there are different segments of people, different communities, different areas, different caste, creed, religion, etc. So until unless you reach out to all those people, you cannot claim that you will be the viable opposition to the
No, I had a different question to you. Hafiz Sahib, I had a different question to you. You know, do you think the Okhom Jatiyo Parikhad will be able to have an alliance with the Congress party?
No, that question, of course, it is only they can say in a better way. But what I find, there may be strategic understanding. It should not be that way straight away. There's no chance of having any understanding with the Congress. But because the common enemy, if you find that if they think that BJP is to be defeated, then certainly they will have to make some sort of strategical stand. And for that, what they is to do, even post-election alliance also may also happen.
Okay.
The post-election also.
Right.
But pre-election, of course, there is no chance of any alliance of AGP and Congress. Otherwise, the whole idea, everything will go.
Absolutely.
So they will have to face, they will have to take up the interest. So but their whole intention is anti-Congress, anti-BJP.
Right.
Basically national parties.
Absolutely.
So they have to fight for regionalism, regional parties, regional interest of Assam. And we find that Congress, whether it is Congress or BJP, both the parties, they have deprived, they have never addressed the problems of the people of Assam for a long period of time. Congress during the 70 years of years, that also they could not do it.
No.
And this BJP also, they could not address the problems of Assam.
Absolutely.
So naturally, AJP cannot go with them.
Okay. Now, Mr. Khatoniar, I'm coming to you, Mr. Kirip Chaliha. Jatiyotwad is not the sole preserve of the regional parties. You agree to that, Mr. Khatoniar? Jatiyotwad, you think a national party leader is not a Jatiyotwadi neta?
No.
Do you think Tarun Gogoi was not Jatiyotwadi?
No. The Jatiyotwad, if you say regionalism, everybody, people staying in Assam, they do believe in Jatiyotwad. But the actions
but regionalism is not the sole honor of Jatiyotwad.
That is the sole, because they have betrayed time and again. Both Congress and BJP, AIUDF, they have betrayed. They have divided Assam into number of fragments. So it is obviously, I'd like to make it very clear to everybody across the state, AJP in no uncertain terms is going to align with Congress, AIUDF, and for that matter, even with AGP.
Even if you lose, even for the, you do not care?
No.
So
no,
even not for the sake of power?
No.
Suppose you come together to defeat the BJP, even then you are not going to align?
No. So far, Congress, AIUDF, and even for that matter, even AGP, we are very clear in our perception. We have born with a different person, so we are not
Khatoniar,
going to align with this party.
Is this your personal view, or
no,
is this your party view?
It's party view. It's party view. We are not going to do any alliance with Congress, AIUDF, or for that matter.
Right. Let me come back to let me broaden this debate. It's a very clear statement coming from the Assam Jatiya Parikhad that even if they lose, even if to defeat the BJP, they're not going to align with the Congress or for that matter the AIUDF. And he says that this is not his personal view as the spokesman. He says that this is the view of the Assam Jatiya Parikhad as a political party. Now that is very clear, and we often do not get such clear-cut views from political leaders. So we appreciate such kind of a clear stand by the Assam Jatiya Parikhad. Now, Mr. Kirip Chaliha, coming to this broad issue, I'm slightly deviating from the topic. I'm coming to you, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. Mr. Kirip Chaliha, you know, the Jatiyotabad, do you think it is the sole domain, sole preserve of only the Anshalik dolls or only the regional political parties? Do you think there are no Congress, some of the great Congresses were great Jatiyotabadis as well? And same is the case with the BJP. Do you think Sarbananda Sonowal is not a Jatiyotabadi leader?
See, this is a very bigger debate, and we will come and talk about it sometime. In fact, I'm going to, I might say a few things in the next press conference which I'm going to have. But what you're saying is very pertinent. You are talking about Jatiyotabad. In English, it is nationalism.
Nationalism.
Now, whether nationalism, petty nationalism, Jatiyotabad, Khudro Jatiyotabad, whether nationalism means that you will make a conglomeration of those people who were part of the Assamese main group and became subdivided over the times, whether they alone can be the inheritors of subnationalism, Assamese subnationalism. Now, I remember that even in Assamese subnationalism, now it is this same kind of nationalism where Assamese language or linguistic Assamese had been given preference. It has resulted in Khasi Hills. It has resulted in Nagaland, where people used to openly talk about in a language which was akin to Assamese, which is still prevailing, although it has become a separate state, which is Nagamese. What about the Mijos? They were part of one district when we were young. Why did they go? You see, why is it that even now Boruland, there is a regional party working in Boruland? You see, so these are bigger issues. But I'll say something else. I still feel that I also said that in spite of all these limitations and contradictions, the fact that a new political group is emerging to challenge Congress and AIUDF might, in the long run, prove to be beneficial for Assam politics.
I am also joined by Assam BJP Vice President, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, with me in the studios at this point in time. Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, we are basically discussing where is the opposition in Assam, which is going to be the main opposition challenging the BJP in 2021. My question, which I've been asking my panelists, my esteemed panelists tonight, is whether it is going to be the Congress on its own or Congress AIUDF, whether it is going to be the Assam Jatiya Parikhad. The question is, the Congress today appears to have been in two minds, already chickening out, because they are now saying, Susmita Dev has made a statement today, senior Congress leader, saying that our AICC is organizing a survey, we are gauging the mood of the people, first week of January the results will come out and then we'll decide. That means this is not what top Congress leaders have said until recently. This is not what we saw in the Bodo Council elections. State Congress President Ripun Bora emerging from the same chopper and addressing joint rallies with Badruddin Ajmal, the AIUDF chief. Now the question is whether it is going to be the Congress, whether it is going to be the Assam Jatiya Parikhad. Now the question is, we already know the Congress position, they are in two minds. Now take the case of the Assam Jatiya Parikhad, whose main plank is regionalism and regional interest. And they are anti-BJP, anti-Congress, anti-AIUDF. Now my question is, I was asking a broader question, very quick statement from you. Is Jatiyotabad the sole preserve? Do only the regional parties have the trademark of our Jatiyotabadi? Do you think Torun Gogoi was not a Jatiyotabadi leader? Do you think Sarbananda Sonowal is not a Jatiyotabadi leader?
Well, I think you yourself, when you are raising the question, you have answered my question. You know, no one who is in the political space in Assam can afford to ignore the biggest community in Assam, which is the Assamese speaking people. So any community trying to seek votes from that community definitely has to take care of the interests of that community. And the BJP is committed to taking the largest community, the Assamese speaking community, into confidence, as the core of the whole election strategy, and expanding it out by association with the other tribal groups which are there. Sabke saath sabka vikas is our motto, which we have often said, and I think that is still the core. And so far as Jatiyarabad is concerned, or if you say speaking about the Assamese speaking people, we are as much as concerned about the welfare, development or protection of the culture of the people of Assam and the Assamese people in particular, as much as others are, if not more.
All right, I'm coming to you, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, but Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, now if we have to look at the situation, that means the BJP on the surface has an edge, has an advantage, because the Congress, it seems, ultimately might have to go it alone. AIUDF will have to go it alone. Assam Jatiya Parishad has very few limitations, very few options. They can align with the Raizor Dal. And as I have been saying, we wish them good luck, but the point is organization is one of the key factors as far as elections are concerned. Will they only depend on the support of the KMSS, ASO and AJYCP? How will that translate into votes? What is your very quick assessment before I go for a break?
Yeah, my quick assessment is that the smaller opposition parties will be the decisive factor at this point of time. If they take away 1%, 1.5% to 2% votes in the mainland Assam in Brahmaputra Valley, then that will upset the election results. Therefore, AJP and Raizor Dal and other smaller fragments, they have this card with them and they will be able to switch votes. That will be their role. And this is where the whole election scenario is going to change, whether there is an opposition unity or not. But switching of votes will happen this time because of strong anti-CAA sentiments, which is prevailing in Brahmaputra Valley, including in tea gardens, and this will switch the votes. And this has emerged as the major spoiling factor for the BJP.
We'll have to wait and watch, because in the height of the anti-Ka agitation also we have seen the BJP winning the panchayat elections, or rather sweeping the panchayat elections in Assam. That's a different debate. I'll come to that. I'll go for a break, but before that, very quickly, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, you see, you are the founder, working president of the AIUDF, so you know the party well. You know minority politics perhaps much better than anyone of us sitting here. My question to you, Hafiz Sahib, is this, that, don't you think that both the Congress and the AIUDF will be competing for a particular vote bank? And if they don't unite, then there will be trouble. If they unite, also it will have an impact in such areas where the vote bank is cosmopolitan. So do you think the Congress and the AIUDF is in a very, very catch-22 situation?
No, basically what I said to you earlier, that there should be some strategic understanding, alliance, because so far you see in Assam, Upper Assam, Middle Assam, Lower Assam and Barak Valley, you see the very support based of UDF and support of the Congress. So far this minority votes are concerned, in fact it is divided between the two parties. But major segment of the people in some areas, it is now with UDF.
No.
Because the so far Congress is concerned, yes, I'm coming to that here. So basically my question is, suppose if Congress and Congress and UDF, if they do have any strategical understanding, I think it will be better for them and they will be the beneficiaries. And if they go it, of course, openly, certainly it will affect the voters in Upper Assam. But I don't think, even suppose if it affects Upper Assam, even then I think if this combination goes on, in that case also they will be the, I think, minimum 45 to 50 seats they will get. Suppose,
Mr. Choudhury, suppose there is no alliance between the Congress and the AIUDF, suppose they fight separately, then what happens?
Now, then in that case, people will choose. You see the mood of the minorities, they are normally what they think that party who is coming to power. Even sometime you'll find that some of the minorities, they even alliance with the BJP also, if they think that BJP is coming to power.
Yes.
But from the scenario which is going on, I don't think the BJP, whatever they may say 100 plus, 120 plus, or 60 plus, or 80 plus, I don't think it is matter of game only, because AGP is there, Raijal Dal there, AGP is having their, AJP is having their base on one particular community, particular segment of the people. Raijal Dal also will have some sort of particular sort of people. So for minorities are concerned, you see about 52 seats, they are the deciding factor. So 52 seat deciding factor, 37 almost tea garden people, they are deciding factor. Now, how you cannot actually just minus them, and ultimately you cannot say that BJP will come to power.
Okay.
BJP must say, if they say that we are having 80 lakhs of...
Right.
Can I just take a small point?
I'll have to go for a quick break. I can give only one intervention, 10 seconds.
But you know what, I'm very surprised that this results, we had targeted 10% minority votes in the Baruah elections, and we were surprised to find that it is between 15 to 17% of the minority people have voted for the BJP in the last BTR election.
So let's be clear, by minorities, what do you mean?
The immigrant Muslims have voted for us.
Okay, that is what Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury is also indicating. It may be possible, you cannot just rule that out. It is not taboo, after all, it's a recognized political party. Let's wait and watch. At the end of the day, this is secret ballot. We really don't know who has voted for whom. We'll go for a short break. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let me go to you, Mr. Kirip Chaliha. Mr. Kirip Chaliha, you know, there are the scenario is quite fluid. There are chances of, as everyone is saying almost, that Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury has by far given a very clear-cut statement. He says that if the Congress and the AIUDF were to come together, if they come together, then there will be a factor in 45 to 50 seats. Even if the Upper Assam does not vote for the Congress and the AIUDF, even then they will have an edge. Even then they will have the chances of performing well in the coming elections. So, what Mr. Hafiz Choudhury is indicating that they can afford to take a chance. That means they can afford to take a risk. Because you know the Congress inside thinking very well. So, what is your view? How do you look at things unfolding?
It's not Congress thinking. I know a lot of things about the AIUDF and the minority thinking also.
As well.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
so but Hafiz is of course a very good analyst, and he's a very good lawyer, and he's a veteran of minority calculations. But then still, I would place certain things for his consideration for a minute. My feeling is that if whether there is a coalition between Congress and AIUDF in the Muslim majority seat, where the Muslims have vast majority, I think it's very immaterial. Either way, it's either Congress or AIUDF candidate will win, and there will be definitely an anti-BJP vote. This is something which nobody has considered. That's why I'm making this point. Secondly, minority decisive votes are not 25, 26. According to BJP's internal calculation, I think they think that 30 seats may be won by this combination. Then they said there may be another 6 vulnerable seats. Then there could be a few more seats where the BJP's anti-incumbency or change of sitting candidates or non-performance by the MLAs because of local conditions. That may also happen. So let me tell you, I know that BJP is quite confident that they are prepared to give up about 46 seats to the opposition. Then I asked them, is it not a very serious, dangerous situation? They said, wow, how? That gives them 80 seats. that gives them BJP plus 80 seats. So now we are talking about an alternate government. In that, for that, so to get 42 seats or 40 seats, if the Congress and AIUDF, or for that matter, even the other political parties fight, does it matter? Will they dilute their ideologies? No. I'll come to another interesting point. This is for Mr. Khatoniar, and not personally, but to his party. Why are there so many regional parties? You must know that there is a perception that the new regional parties also, within the new regional parties, the national political parties, where they have not even emerged as a political party, there are different kinds of political vested interests working. So don't you think that you will have to project such an image, whereby you have to remove the apprehension of the people? They are not after power. They are after some ideology and implementation of that ideology. That is the reason why. Why should you bother about how many seats
that is the biggest catch-22 situation for a new party like the Assam Jatiya Parishad. Mr. Khatoniar will be explaining. But what I see from outside in what he has said is that let them, even if not even for the sake of power, not even to defeat the BJP, will they align with the Congress or the AIUDF. They will fight it on their own and with the support of other regional parties. Now the question is, which are these other parties? There are very few options left for the, as of now, there are very few options for the Assam Jatiya Parishad. Now the point which we are making is that the BJP is an extremely, they have a scientific methodology to go for elections. This question is to you, Mr. Khatoniar. I'm coming to you, Mr. Choudhury and Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. You see, if you look at the political hotspots, in Bodo heartland, the BJP has a clear-cut ally. They earlier had an ally, now also they have an ally. In Tiwa councils, they've swept the elections, only held 2-3 days ago. In Karbi Anglong, the Autonomous Council is led by the BJP.
These are votes by ballots.
Dima Hasao. So, I don't bother whether there's a vote by ballots or by EVM. As far as I'm concerned, I respect the verdict of the people. And as far as the Dima Hasao is concerned, also it is ruled by the BJP. Now, these are certain advantages that the BJP has. And now, look at the BJP, how they have decided to conduct their 2-day executive committee in Karimganj, storming the Barak Valley with all their top leaders landing up and creating some kind of a wave, you know. So, these are the methodologies which the BJP is adept at using before every major election. So, how do you propose to move ahead in the days ahead? Will the regionalism card alone be enough?
No, there are two, three things. First of all, let me clarify. Regionalism does not mean anti-national. We are also
nobody is saying that.
No, that is
nobody is saying that you are anti-national.
No, that point should be clear.
No, nobody is saying that.
No. Individually was referred to Swapnanil, Jatirabad, yes, there is, but their priorities or they are obliged to their party demands more than the people's demand. That is what we have seen for the last 20 years, number one. Number two, every election has a different ball game. Now we are talking of BTAD elections, then we have TIWA, then ASDC, all these are different ball games. Lok Sabha assembly elections are different guns. I agree that BJP has a better network, they have done it, they have a wider network, strategically they have very firm. But at the same time, AJP, despite being a new party, has come up with his action plan, and it will be very clear within a couple of days. Once we release our manifesto, once the people are clear about our aims and objectives, then the more and more people will join us, because we are getting a overwhelming support from across the state, from various communities, various class of people.
Okay.
Now, it is a question of consensus vote now. It is. Okay. I would like to appeal to the people of Assam that it is the time for the people of Assam to talk honestly to their conscience, to take the right decision.
All right. Let me turn to you, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. You know, don't you think it is important before every election, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, don't you think it is important for the opposition to first of all know which is the main opposition, to establish the position of an clear-cut opposition? That is what seems to be lacking in Assam today. Do you agree or not?
Partly I would agree to you, and partly the situation will be developing further. because local issues always take prominence in assembly elections. For example, in Barak Valley, the continuous border conflict with Mizoram.
No, you have deviated. That is not my question. Sorry to interrupt you. No, Prasenjit, sorry to interrupt you. My question is...
I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm saying that local issues will decide primarily whether opposition parties will come together or not. So it will be more a constituency-wise alliance if it at all happens. It cannot happen in the form of a grand alliance as it happened in case of a Bihar or certain other states with a kind of a common minimum program. So what is very clear that so far there is no common minimum program between opposition parties. Therefore, local issues and constituency-wise situation will decide how it will go in the future days.
So, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, if there is no grand alliance,
yes.
if there is no combined alliance, if there is no clear-cut option available before the people, then the formidable ruling party will definitely have an edge. I'm not talking about whether the ruling party is the BJP or anybody, but my question is generic. Now, what Dr. Prasenjit Biswas is saying, that it could be a constituency-wise alliance, there may not be a grand alliance. My question is, if there is no clear-cut opposition alliance, if there is no grand alliance, then the message to the people is unclear. That means, in that scenario, whichever is the formidable ruling combination always will get an advantage, isn't it?
Now the question is, you see, until unless people get a clear-cut picture of the leadership,
yes.
If there is no grand alliance or Mahajutkonbon or the whatever may be, if the people think that ultimately non-BJP vote are divided in their respective ways, in the respective field, then certainly then the people will take a decision. And then the whole question is, viable alternative means whether they are going to form government or they are going to have their say in the assembly. Two things here there. You see, so far AGP, Raijodra, they have even stated our strategy is not 21 election. We are having other future vision also. That is what I have heard about some of their leaders saying, that we are not confirmed and only but confined to the 2001 election. We may not have that capacity to form the government, but our voice will be there. That is how I have heard some of them have stated publicly. Now the question is, forming the government one thing and having the say of the regional political party or the voice of the people of Assam, well, it's quite different thing. So I don't think, because people, if people do not find any clear-cut leadership, clear-cut opposition, people will also be confused. And certainly in that case, they may go to the ruling party also. If they find that some party, maybe BJP, maybe AJP or Congress, if they find that at that point of time, that either Congress or BJP or AJP or UDF, whatever maybe, if they are going to participate in the election, part in the government, or they will be in a position for the government, people will opt for that only. That is what I am saying. Because so far minorities are concerned, from my experience I say, normally they look out for their security only. They know who will give them security. Security can be even one police, one SI, whatever may be the official. They want that who will listen to my problem. So even the local level police may help them also.
Right. Right.
What time police will help them?
Right.
If he belongs to the ruling party.
Okay. Now,
so normally they go for the security, and for that purpose they will think that who is coming.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's a very objective analysis, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah. I think that's a very objective analysis by Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury. He says that if there is no clear-cut leadership issue is not clear. See, leadership issue is not just for the ruling party seeking re-election. It has to be for the other side as well. People have to know who is the opposition leader, who is going to be emerged as the challenger. So if that is not clear, then the people finds it difficult. Now, how do you look at that's beside the point. That's not my question to you, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah. How do you view the Ahom Jatiya Parishad? Because no political party can ignore saying that I am not bothered. That will be too simplistic and childish. Every political party has the potential to emerge as a dark horse and strike at you. My question is, how do you view the Ahom Jatiya Parishad? Do you view is it someone who is out to grab power or someone who is going to act as a spoiler, and a main aim is to make its presence felt and increase its, say, non-BJP voice in the assembly? How do you look at it?
If you ask me the question that, look, no opposition can be dismissed off.
Yes.
That is definite in electoral politics. You never know what might happen in the night before kind of politics, as we have seen so many years over the years. So no party can be dismissed. Yes, but so far as if you are asking me whether we consider them to be a formidable opposition, as of now, my answer is no. But while saying that, we do not assume that they will not be a force in any time to come. And so we are already under constant watch. And so far as the minorities are concerned, I look after the minority affairs in the party. I can tell you that for each minority-dominated constituency, we are now getting 5 to 10 applications every day from people who may not possibly get tickets from the Congress or the AIUDF party. So they are keeping their options open.
So, this is a very big statement. This is a very big statement, viewers, coming from the Assam BJP Vice President, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, who is also in charge of the BJP's minority cell in Assam. Mr. Swapnanil Baruah is saying that every day he is getting 5 to 10 applications for candidates from the, for candidates, right?
Yeah, yes.
For candidates to contest, seeking tickets. Minorities seeking tickets in each constituency. So that is the breaking story. Swapnanil Baruah, head of the BJP's minority cell in Assam, says that every day they're getting 5 to 10 applications from each constituency from minorities seeking BJP tickets to contest the upcoming 2021 elections. Now, let me turn to you, Mr. Kirip Chaliha. You know, there are two things, as Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury has said. I will have to, of course, take an opinion from Mr. Khatoniar that it will be the horse's mouth, but let's analyze it. How do you view the Assam Jatiya Parishad? Do you think they are out to form the government, or do you think they are trying to have a good performance so that they can have a good voice, or they can have their voice heard in the Assam Assembly?
I'll not go very much deep into the points, but I'll say a few points very, very clearly. Number one, why did AGP vanish, almost vanished from the original power that they had? You see, they ignored the elder leadership. There was a huge gang of elder leadership in AGP when it was formed. Have we seen that kind of elder people's conglomeration in the present both the parties? We have some people who are great intellectuals, but those intellectuals had at one point of time praised Congress to the hilt. They have praised BJP also at times. And so you know, I'm just pointing out to the facts. Secondly, for example, Hafiz Rashid Choudhury. I'll just give him one example. Rashid is one person who has great respect across the state of Assam. He has been able to win the High Court election, High Court Bar Association election with thumping majority all over Assam, and all kinds of people voted for him. Has any party approached him? I don't know. I don't think anybody will approach him. But is he not he's an opinion maker. But no political party will consider to bring him in. I don't know why. Do you think that you can ignore a leader like him in any political formations? But you will find him untouchable. I'm just giving an example. Similarly, I have a feeling that senior citizens and senior political thinkers and senior people across the party who are keeping themselves aloof have not yet given their voice, and nobody is interested in bringing them in. You are bringing in, of course, there is thanks to Swapnanil's party, now political campaigning consists of dancing, singing and all that. But besides singers and dancers, you need some thinking people also whose face has to be shown. Now that has not been seen.
So are you going to say that unlike the Congress, BJP has no thinking people? Do you mean to,
no, BJP still has. Are
you claiming that Congress has a lot of thinking people?
No. I'm saying even in Congress now there is a huge dearth of senior leaders. I'm saying
fair enough.
But and the regional formations that are coming, they also have to assure the people that senior people they'll be able to guide us.
Absolutely.
Now, and that it will not be a clamor for power again, because ASU had formed one political party and they all went haywire because the power corrupted them totally. That cannot be denied.
Okay, these are very, very significant points which Mr. Kirip Chaliha has also made. I'm running short of time. Let me go to you one final time, Mr. Amrit Khatoniar. Let's hear from you. What is the objective of the, let's be realistic also while getting a response from you. I hope you will give a reasonable and realistic answer. Assam Jatiyo Parikhod, formed less than 6 months before the elections with the backing of the ASU and AJYCP. You cannot have an alliance, you have yourself clarified, you cannot have an alliance with the Congress, BJP and AIUDF, or for that matter the AGP. So you have Rise or Dol and maybe one or two which may emerge in the near future. So that is your option. Now, are you aiming to dislodge the BJP and form the government, or you are striving to have a good say in the Assam Assembly?
No, obviously when a political party is formed, their objective will be to form the government. Now, the question is the electoral vote is a question of numbers.
Right.
So, our objective is very clear. And now that, one more point I would like to clarify to Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, that he has said that till now we are not a formidable, we are not considering AJP as a formidable opponent. Force. But the fact remains that the BJP is scared of AJP is reflected by the sarcastic comments at various forums by your senior ministers and leaders. If it is so ignorable, AJP, then we should not have been talked about in any forum, number one. Number two, AJP has made it very clear that we are going to form the government with our alliance, and because their sentiments is so high, every election is has certain impact on certain issues. Now, BJP has miserably failed to fulfill the aspirations of the people of Assam so long in a 4.5 years period. That was the reason why in 2016 against Congress misrule, the people have looked for a change and advocated to go for BJP, and also the regional party AGP has joined the party, the BJP. That was the situation in 2016. Now that today in 2021 the situation is totally different.
Okay.
So that is why we are a formidable
you said that
opposition.
that is why you are a possible alternative.
Yes, we are
okay, that is what the AJP
alternative.
spokesperson is basically saying. Last few minutes, I'll ask Swapnanil Baruah to respond, but very quickly, Mr. Hafiz Rashid Choudhury, your final comments. How do you see things unfold in the next, in the days ahead, actually? How do you see the situation in the days ahead?
And one question. First of all, I thanks my very good friend of mine, Mr. Kirip Chaliha, about the election, because I find people of Assam not communal. They will not go on the communal line. The question, because I am the example. I contested Bar Council election, 5 states I secured highest vote as a chairman. That is rightly stated. I am grateful to them. So far in Assam, people of Assam are concerned, I don't think they will vote in the line of communal. But question is, Mr. Swapnanil Baruah, I would ask him, because they have projected one Mr. Shukur Ali as the star campaigner of BJP. The way how they should expect vote from minorities. And their own minister, central minister, has stated that would not give any ticket to Muslim candidate. These are the declarations they have given. So how they expect their vote from minorities?
Okay.
On the other hand, you see AJP, Raijor Dol, Congress, they are reaching out to the minorities also. They are reaching out to minorities. AJP also reaching out to minorities, Raijor Dol reaching out to minorities. Right. But Swapnanil Baruah, I think it is Swapna. It is just a dream. They cannot expect vote for minorities. One MLA, Mr. Aminul Islam, he was not given a ministerial bar. Only one MLA. This is the first time in Assam.
Okay, let him respond.
Without any Muslim
Mr. Choudhury, I'm running short of time.
How they expect?
Let Mr. Swapnanil Baruah respond. I'm coming to you for your final comments, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. Swapnanil Baruah, please respond very in brief.
I think, you know, I have already told you that we have made our penetration into the minority belt. We have been able to gain votes more than our expectations and calculations, and therefore I don't see any reason. And I have been touring the state in the minority areas. It is nowhere that we have not found response from the people, and as I said, that people daily are coming now seeking tickets. So if that be the ground situation, I don't think why theoretical things like what someone has said or someone hadn't said at a particular moment or time would make any difference, because the ground situation is such that the minority people are gaining confidence. We have not deprived them of the benefits of the development programs. In fact, they are the most beneficiaries of the development programs of the government, and we are thankful to them that they have come forward to utilize it to the best of purpose that they were originally used for, and that is going to be the changing factor or the game's changing strategy.
All right, all right.
One statement.
Very quickly, 20
Very
seconds,
quickly.
20
now,
seconds.
In this connection, I'd like to clarify that AJP has never divided Assam into minority or majority. For us, anybody living in Assam who loves Assam is an Assamese and a Tamil.
We'll have to wait and watch.
We are not
because you are very
minority or majority.
You are very new. You are very new in politics. We'll have to wait and watch as to how things unfold in the days ahead as far as the AGP is concerned. Final comments to you, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. How do you see the road ahead? 20 seconds.
I think the regional parties have to widen their base, and they have to include non-Assamese people in order to really build up a proper unity. And unity is going to emerge despite all hurdles. That also can be, foretold. And I can make a prediction that there will be a larger opposition unity, although it may be in a different model than in the Bihar model.
Okay, Kirip Chaliha, you wanted to make an intervention.
No, I think we should not be very harsh on AJP because it has just emerged.
Yes.
It has just been formed. So to judge its strength now will be wrong. What we are saying, even the criticism that we are making, it's on regional politics. On regional politics. But they have a long way to go, and they have a lot of hard questions to tackle.
No,
I hope that they'll be able to tackle.
I think Swapnanil Baruah has made it very clear that they don't take the AJP. They are not ignoring the AJP. They're considering any political party which is on the scene in electoral battle is definitely a threat to the other party. Because unless there is an alliance, you don't know from where it can emerge and strike you hard. I think this is a debate that is just heating up. We'll have to wait and watch as to how things unfold. But as of today, things are volatile, things are fluid and flux, in a state of flux. And therefore, we cannot say as to which is the main opposition formation that is going to emerge and take on the BJP in the 2021 elections, whether it is the Congress AIUDF combined, whether it is the regional combined led by the Assam Jatiya Parishad. Let's wait and watch. But we will be keeping a close watch on that. We'll be analyzing every little details of the formations emerging as and when they develop. I thank all my panelists for participating in these very engaging discussions and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.